Lorga Parfum is a new French perfume house founded in 2019 by three brothers as a family business. In that year, they launched 5 perfumes as well, which those 5 perfumes have a specific meaning for this company called the Noble Nectars Collection. They were all created in collaboration with perfumers Sara Buri, Camille Legué, and Alice Dati. This house rose with the inspiration to achieve with the most virtuous raw material, which creates the symphony of the senses. They call it the Noble Nectars Collection. This Noble Nectars Collection is a combination of 5 major high-quality ingredients: oud, musk, rose, leather, and amber that combines passion, emotion, and nobility. Now, from each one of these Noble Nectars collection, they created one fragrance that has one of these high-quality ingredients as its major star of the show, which also was the reason why they created 5 separate fragrances. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today I'm going to review one fragrance from this Noble Nectars collection called Rose d'Encens by Lorga Parfum, which was launched in 2019. And the nose behind this Noble Nectar rose is Alice Dati. Rose d'Encens is a complex, sophisticated, unisex oriental scent. Alright, before we start with the accords of Rose d'Encens, make sure you stick to the end of my video and check out the unboxing of this gorgeous bottle. Their bottles are extremely heavy. It's one of the heaviest bottles I ever held in my hand. The cap is very heavy, very sturdy, and the bottle itself, it's so well made and it's so classy. So make sure you stick around and check it out. So this one right here is the one that I sprayed from yesterday. So this is the dry down of Rose d'Encens, so I can go over the whole life cycle of the fragrance for you guys. And it's definitely different than when you freshly spray it. This is a very complex, very heavy, luxurious, classy type of a scent. This is a dance between regal frankincense and majestic rose, or I should actually say it's a 3-way dance between regal frankincense, black currant, and majestic rose. The opening is bright citrusy, bitter, and tart with mild spicy tone. Also, there is this tangy fruit note with a very characteristic ammoniac nuance sourced from green leaf buds. It has this green, minty, and fruity accords which must be coming from black currant. In other words, it is fruity and sweet, but it has this acidic and tartness vibe to it as well. This tangy and sweet juicy tartness also comes from raspberry, more sophisticated than a strawberry, but just as lush. This perfume is really the bridge between East and West. The rose here is not your typical rose, which has this rose water type of a smell, or Taif rose. It's nothing like that. It actually has this lemony, fresh, powdery, woody, and fruity nuances, which is mixed with this nicely complex, sophisticated incense smell. Now, something really interesting also, you know, when you spray something and you smell it a lot, your nose kind of becomes blind. But when you walk away from it for a couple of hours and you come back, and I just kind of like smelled the bottle like this, it has this really interesting, almost like a lipstick, iris, almond type of vibe to it, which is really interesting that I get that. So again, this is going to be a very difficult fragrance to review and kind of talk about because it's very complex. It changes up. It's really interesting. And that's why I actually fell in love with this, because every time, actually this is my second video. I created one video and later on I sprayed it again, and there were a couple of things that I thought that it's not in here, and I realized no, it's in here. So it is a complex scent, and it's really nicely done. It's a very nice rose that it's not, again, your typical rose type of a scent. Now, the incense here is nothing like church or hippie type of a smell. it actually plays quite the opposite role in this scent, which is very classy, sophisticated, and complex type of a smell. So the incense or olibanum here is not smoky at all at the opening. I do not get any smokiness at the opening phase of the life cycle of Rose d'Ancens. I get more of a fresh, balsamic, somewhat green, earthy, woody, spicy with a fruity top note for olibanum or incense, which olibanum is supposed to really smell like that. Now, richness and the sensuality of the rose is combined with tart notes of blackcurrant and raspberry, almost like candied violet and rose petals. It has this velvety type of vibe to it. It's just fantastic smelling. The strength of blackcurrant dominates here and competes with the rose for the spotlight. The blackcurrant actually complements the olibanum or the incense. In the dry down, you have that beautiful tonka bean absolute revealing itself alongside with labdanum and vanilla, which creates this beautiful amber accord. Tonka bean absolute contains 90% of coumarin, and depending on the amount of how much it is used in the fragrance, the scent varied from green grassy to sweet tobacco almond-like nuances. And here you definitely get that beautiful sweet tobacco almond nuance on the dry down, which complements the labdanum and vanilla. Labdanum, which falls under the resins and balsams group, has this deep, powerful, leathery and ambery notes. Now, when it is mixed with vanilla and tonka bean, you definitely get this powdery, semi-gourmand, leathery, tobacco, almond, and ambery accord on the dry down with precisely a dry, smoky facet, which you definitely get that here with Rose d'Ancens. So now that I'm smelling the dry down, which this one is from yesterday, that's all I smell. I pretty much smell the labdanum, the tonka bean, that almond tobacco, smoky type of accord here, which I really love. And that's what made me to make the video again, because I didn't smell that before. And I was like, God, you know, actually at first I thought this is not really smoky, but now the next day when I came to the dry down, I'm like, this is really smoky. I mean, it's not actually really smoky, but it is smoky. There's definitely smoky facets to it, and the smokiness is really dry. And it has this powdery vibe to it, almost like that almond, which the tonka bean creates that. The almond, the tobacco, kind of dry, smoky vibe to it on the dry down. It's really well blended. Again, it's very complex, and it's something that plays with your head. It's kind of difficult of a fragrance to do a review of. You have to like really play with it for a while to kind of get a hang of it, to kind of know how it plays off and how the life cycle of the scent goes. The freshly one sprayed, the rose almost has an iris vibe to it, and I think it's because of the bergamot and the raspberry, the overdose of raspberry and the black currant. I think creates almost that iris lipstick type of vibe to it. But the dry down, on the other hand, as a result, you get a beautifully spicy velvet-like rose wrapped with the warmth and comfort of amber and vanilla. I simply cannot get enough of the dry down of Rose d'Ancens once the blackcurrant softens and becomes one with the olibanum or incense. So you only get the smokiness in the dry down, which also has a tobacco leather vibe to it, or I should say not leather vibe, but more of like a velvet vibe to it, almost like a velvet petal, rose petal vibe to it. But smelling the dry down again, the vanilla is essentially creamy with the just right amount of gourmand combined with the powderiness of tobacco almond nuances of tonka bean and dry smokiness of olibanum or incense, which brings it all together as this beautiful oriental complex accord to enjoy. All right, so this is as far as the accords of Rose d'Ancens goes. And just to wrap it up, what you get as far as the accords goes, again, it's fruity. You have that amber accord in here. You get vanilla. It's kind of sweet, or I should say it is sweet, but it's not heady sweet. So people that are not into sweet fragrances, don't shy away from this. Definitely give it a try. It's not like heady sweet type of a scent. Definitely smell the rose, but in a different way, or I should say, you smell the black currant and rose. And also, it's definitely balsamic, it's woody, it's floral, it's powdery, it's smoky on the dry down, it's a little bit leathery and velvety, and it's also very aromatic. So this is as far as the accords for Rose d'Ancens goes. All right, so let's get to the notes of Rose d'Ancens. Top notes, we have black currant, raspberry, and bergamot. Middle notes, we have rose absolute, albinum absolute, or incense. Base notes, we have tonka bean absolute, which is 90% coumarine. We have labdanum absolute and vanilla absolute. All right, so let's get to the performance and longevity. As far as the longevity goes, it is long lasting. On my skin, I get about 7 to 8 hours, and on clothes, it's eternal, which I get about 24 hours plus. So as far as the performance and longevity goes, I would definitely give it a high score. Now, as far as the projection and sillage goes, it has a moderate to strong sillage, and it projects about 5 to 6 feet on initial spray, and after 2 hours, it gets closer to your skin. As far as the projection and sillage goes, I would also give it a high score as well. As far as compliments of Rose d'Ancens goes, I haven't had the chance to wear this in the public, but knowing the DNA of different fragrances, and even though I did mention this is a very complex type of a scent, and it is, it's definitely a type of fragrance that demands you to dress up, and it's very luxurious. It's definitely one of those scents that you want to wear it to a nice party or something. And but at the same time, it does have a mass appealing vibe to it. And I think that's the key here, which makes this fragrance to be definitely a compliment getter. So just from my opinion, I would definitely give it a high score as far as the compliments goes. As far as the versatility goes, again, this is a very subjective topic, but again, a lot of people like to know. So to me, Rose d'Ancens, even though it is fruity, it has a fruity vibe to it, but to me, the incense and just the complexity of it doesn't make it a versatile fragrance. I wouldn't see this as a signature scent, but you could definitely wear this to a work if you have a high-end job and you're a boss or whatever. You can definitely pull this off, or if you're closing a deal, this would be definitely great. It has a bossy type of vibe to it. I would say you could definitely wear this at nighttime. Definitely a great fragrance for a date night. It would be a great fragrance for a night out with friends. Even going to a club, it would be great. It would be fantastic. And as far as seasons goes, I would say this would definitely do better in cooler temperatures. So I would probably stay away from this in summertime and spring. But again, it's very subjective. It's just my opinion. So as far as the versatility goes, I would definitely give it a medium score. As far as the uniqueness of Rose d'Ancens goes, I don't think I need to really talk about this because you are on my channel, and I always talk about unique fragrances, and Rose d'Ancens is no exception. But again, the rose here is definitely not your typical type of a rose. It's such a complex scent, which I mentioned many times in the video. So this is something that I haven't smelled before. It's different, and that makes it very, very unique, at least for me. So as far as the uniqueness goes, I will definitely give it a high score. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the end of my video. That's all I have for Rose d'Ancens by Lorga Parfum. If you own this fragrance or if you have tried it, please let me know in the comment section what's your take on it. And if you haven't, I'm telling you, this one right here is definitely an easy blind buy because it is a mass appealing type of a scent. And that's it, you guys. That's all I have. Thank you so much, and hopefully see you guys soon with another video. Bye.